Bugs. Bro, the bugs we got out here in the desert will fuck you up.
Bruh, tell me about it.
I'd rather not.
I fought a level 39 grasshopper the other day.
Bro, that ain't shit. You get to the fucking level 80, level 90 shit, you get like the fucking giant desert centipedes that are like this long, send you to the hospital. The tarantula hawk wasp, like just the name alone is like,
what the hell is that?
That's a raid boss, bro.
Not yet. Sadly.
Yo, session 9? Session 9, guys.
Session 9.
Dude, we're 9 sessions deep into this.
Getting
I thought we
far.
would have given up at 3.
I hate odd numbers.
You thought we would give up after all our bullshit about we're fucking never going to give up? If none of you were watching, we would just sit here doing this.
Never, dude,
but thank you for watching.
Rick Astley, bro. Never going to give you up.
Never going to let you down.
Come on, Kenny.
Somebody was going to say
you had to pick it up.
I was thinking about saying it, but I was like, I think Juan will probably say it anyway.
Yeah.
Speaking of live, we might have a live session in beginning of September.
Oh yeah,
I did apply for the panel. It's being reviewed. So
guys, that's fun. Live. So Robert, can you please go over exactly what we may have in store for the viewers come September?
Yeah. So September is a local con called Sabaton Con. Sabaton being the Japanese word for cactus. Because we live in a fucking desert.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Wow.
Weeb shit. And because it's weeb shit, we applied for a panel there to do a live session of our podcast, which we will, of course, be ourselves as hosting. And we will also invite fellow convention goers up to a mic to talk about what fun they're having, what they like about cons, or just whatever husband knows and wife they like.
Can we roast them?
With consent. We'll be like, are you open to being roasted? Yeah. And if you say yes, we'll fuck.
If you give me like a stupid ass opinion, I'm up.
Well, I mean, that's open. Opinions are a free game. Like, if you listen to this podcast, you already know.
I'll be like, hey, man, you're entitled to your opinion. It's a stupid ass opinion, but you're entitled to it.
Wait, so we're gonna be performing basically? Oh,
I mean, we're just gonna be doing this, but with people, an audience.
Yeah,
man, that's crazy.
You got stage fright?
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
You know how they do like the old school sitcoms, like whenever, like if you ever seen Full House or Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like they'll have
the audience.
The live audience.
Yeah. I thought that was always pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that'll be, hopefully, as long as the panel gets approved, it's in review right now. We will be live for the first time at Sabaton Con. So if you're going to Sabo, be sure to check us out. It'll be fun. It'll be fun to see you.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
So if we bash on any certain animes, and then we have a heckler come.
You can come up and defend your anime.
I like that. You can come up and defend your anime. If you're a heckler, feel free to heckle, bro.
Like, your waifu sucks.
We'll set the noise gate to cut you out anyway.
Yeah, you can even bring shit to throw around, bro. It's
not literally throw. We have equipment that's kind of.
That's okay. You can throw it. I got fast reflexes. I'll catch it.
I don't. So
and I'm gonna beam you in the head.
Fair is fair.
Wait, hold up. That's not a threat to anybody. YouTube, don't take us down. We only have like 20 subscribers,
YouTube
bro.
Stuff, yeah. YouTube, stop.
Stop it. Get some help.
By the way, hello, hi, it's us, Weeb the People for session.
Yeah. As always, your host with the most.
I'm just instant transmissioning right now.
Yes, I am your host. Boku no namae wa J des. To my
Don't give me no fucking obtuse bullshit angles.
To my
113.
To my northwest.
Kenny B. We're back at it with the bullshit. How's it going, guys? To my immediate left.
I could eat that. I could go with that. It says that I could eat that. What am I going to eat? It's me, Cars, Robert. You know, that guy. I'm also here on this podcast, as you probably already know.
You know what? I can now say to my front. To my front.
You can. Because you are now...
Then we got to fight over it.
As you can see for you visual watchers, this is a new arrangement we have here.
Yes. Because we're trying a few new things.
We are trying a few new things.
Right? I thought it would be fun to actually watch the show, the episode that we're reviewing.
Which episode are we reviewing today?
Oh, dude, we're reviewing episode number 7.
So episode number 7 of Spy X Family. If you're watching, you could bring it up right now and watch it along with us.
Dude, yeah, exactly.
For YouTube copyright reasons, we are not going to have it on the screen.
Yeah.
But you're free to watch it with us.
Yeah, I just thought it would be cool to try something different.
Yeah, for sure.
Not like what we were doing before wasn't successful, right? I think we had a lot of fun doing it. But I was like, yo, you know what? Fuck it. Let's watch the episode and react to it live, and then just give our thoughts to it and see how it goes, man.
Yeah.
If it sucks, it sucks. Cool. We only tried it for one episode, right?
And there will be a lot more episodes.
How to expand your horizons, guys.
Yes, sir. I'm assuming that they're probably gonna take a break after episode 12.
That's what I'm thinking. 12 or 13 is probably what they'll.
Yeah, so we're coming up pretty close to the end here. We're 11 episodes in, so we got at least 1 or 2 more before the what would you call it? It's not a season finale, like this. The
Unless
core
it is a
finale.
season finale. Did they announce 24 episodes or?
Yeah.
Okay.
They did.
Yeah, I don't see them doing anything less than 24 for the first season, bro. This show is way too popular. They get riots.
There will be riots
Yeah.
if we don't get 24 episodes in this first season.
People will burn down. Oh.
They just stop at
Don't say the
23.
Kehlani effect. Okay.
All right, without further ado, bam.
As we observe
Oh,
Lloyd,
dude.
who's
Look at this sexy man, bro.
such a great cook. But he thinks such deep thoughts
Dude,
about
he's so
the world.
sexy. Look at Desmond, bro.
Donovan
Isn't he
Donovan
also
is
has-
not sexy.
looks-
No?
He's just like,
That's
He
fucked
looks-
up, bro.
He
How
looks
could you say
insane.
did you see his face?
that? Dude.
Did you look at the same face I
Dude,
just looked at?
He was attractive to somebody.
That's their problem.
Who?
Dude, bro.
Name.
I love Yodo-san's outfit, dude. It suits her
Outfits.
so well, dude. No, her killing outfit.
Well, I like both outfits.
Her
Like,
chilling
she-
outfit.
Like, she's like the adorable
Yeah.
housewife in the long sweater.
Yeah, I just
no, the one she kills it.
I like the black and gold, bro. Like I've always been a fan of the black and yellow, black and gold aesthetic, and
Oh, yeah,
and I
for sure.
and I like that for her. So, dude, how adorable is she, bro?
Every scene is just
Dude,
Precious.
Yoro-san in her morning gown, dude. You gotta love it, bro. You gotta love.
then you
that,
got the
right?
anime breakfast looking good as hell.
Yeah,
making me
it's
hungry.
like
As usual.
for me personally, whenever I see girls like first thing in the morning, like
I do
my
the
wife,
"Awooga," and like
dude, right?
the eyes come out of my
Yeah,
head.
I always tell Kelsey all the time. It's like when you're out of bed, baggy t-shirt, messy hair, like rubbing your
Oh.
That's
the
when
sand
you
out
the
of your
prettiest.
eyes.
I
And it's
hope
like,
this
dude, it's
don't take it
adorable, bro. I
wrong.
was like, I'm always like I've noticed that girls hate it, like their morning look, but like guys usually love their morning look.
Yeah, and then it's the
Yeah.
Doki Doki moment.
Mm-hmm. And Yoda-san, look at Anya. Oh, dude, this
Little
girl.
sleepy Anya.
She feels so bad because she punched the fuck out of
She's
Desmond.
embarrassed.
I mean, to Damien.
Damien.
Oh my gosh. Lloyd, you know, in the beginning, whenever something would go wrong, he'd be kind of panicked.
Yeah, he'd be
But
like, "Oh shit!"
I mean,
don't
that
have
scene
control.
right there, he's like, you know what?
Don't worry about it. Let's go.
Don't worry
Let's move
about it.
forward.
Right.
His first reaction is, I need to get a new kid. Like every
Yeah.
single time.
Initially, he's like, "I
Good
picked
point.
the wrong kid,"
Mm-hmm.
and now he's like, "This is just how this is my family now."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think it's super cool because it, once again, it kind of displays another aspect of his adaptability because now he's like, all right, well, now I really have to learn how to navigate around a situation where other people are involved, right? Because unfortunately, I can't always have it my way and just do solo missions, right? So it's like, well, now I've got Anya and I've got Yoda-san with me, so it's like, all right, now
He's in too
you
deep.
know, shit's gonna hit the fan sometimes, and it's not always gonna go our way. But luckily, you know, we'll just, you know, my wife is good. My daughter seems to know what she's doing, so it's like, you know,
well,
Sometimes.
she's there.
Sometimes.
She's fine. It's okay.
see, it's like
What's constructive, right? Not dwelling on the past. And there's a lot of like nice little lessons to take from this too. Like a lot of
Yeah.
anime where it's like, oh yeah, be constructive. Don't just dwell on the past. Like
Mhm.
just move forward and go from there.
Yeah. And see, I really like that part too, where he's like, yo, the mission can only succeed if she enjoys her time at school.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, okay, let's not be too hard on her to the point where she's going to start hating going
Yeah.
there. So I think actually that was, you know,
Good
that was-
forethought.
yeah, exactly.
The rest of the world rests on you making amends. Anya will do her best. And she's got that little wide stance.
Dude, her
Asserting her
dude,
dominance.
she's so cute in her uniform, bro.
Yeah, she showed it off to everybody in the park.
Yeah.
And then there's Becky, her lovely
Mhm.
little friend.
Got a chauffeur.
Miss Becky.
Miss Rich Girl.
Oh, I love that.
I remember when I was a little kid,
Oh.
there were some rich kids in my class, and I got to go over one of their houses once for like a school project.
Yeah.
And I grew up like poor as shit. So I walk into this house, and there's like, the ceiling just goes up forever. There's like a bridge across the middle of the room.
I'm
that
actually a
leads-
big fan of those kind of places. The
I
high
am too,
ceilings.
but I was just
yeah.
like, oh, you guys are rich.
Yeah.
And,
It's
then,
like
I,
you
and then I got
Bruh.
scolded because you can't talk about
You get
people
like
being
reverse
rich.
vertigo. You know how I feel like you look
Yeah.
down and it's way too deep,
Yeah.
but it's like you look up and it's way too high. You're like,
Yeah, I used to be like, oh, I could jump and touch the ceiling. And I'm like, I could get a jetpack and not touch the ceiling.
yeah.
So But yeah, so like, every time she's like, "Oh, rich girl," I'm like, "Oh yeah, I remember that thing." But then I'm like, I always had the negative connotation. If you can't say that, you can't say people are rich. I'm like, it was so weird. Like as a kid, I just accepted it, but now I'm like, what the fuck?
It's like,
why can't I acknowledge it?
like dad's
I've never
walking
heard
in
that
three-piece
before.
Armani suit. He's got the Rolex.
You can't point that out. You can't. You can't mention that.
There's a fucking yacht outside.
Fuck, dude. I was just at the Gold Rush
You
rally.
got the Maserati, the Lamborghini, the Aventador.
They're like the guys are just like standing on top, spraying champagne bottles like on top of $250,000 cars.
Yeah, he's like, we're not rich.
we're just
doing well.
Yeah, we're doing okay, man.
Nah,
You see my
bro, you're well.
Wait till you see my neighbor. There's always a bigger fish. All right,
my
Qui-Gon.
God. I love that Anya and Becky became such good friends, bro.
I do too, and it's
Yeah.
one of the clutch moments for
Yeah.
Anya to stay in school too.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
I can't remember, was it this episode or the previous episode where Anya was all like, "Oh, school's kind of scary, but it's
Yeah.
okay because
Yeah. It was a prior one. It was
Okay.
a prior one because the first half was her and Yoda-san's day out
Yeah,
together
yeah.
when she almost got kidnapped.
Yeah, because it was Becky that was like anchoring Anya to
Mhm.
the school.
Yeah, because I was having some, because in the beginning of the series, you can kind of infer that Anya didn't really get along with kids her age because
Mhm.
everybody would think, oh, this girl's a weirdo. She seems
Yeah,
to just
especially
kind of
from her time in the orphanage where she was like shunned and rejected. That's still, I'm sure, sticking with her.
Yeah. So for her to be able to find a friend that she could kind of rely on in the show,
Experience a normal life.
yeah, precisely. I thought that was a really nice.
I think you got
touch.
this kid's fucking hair.
Yeah,
I still hate
man.
it every time I
Dude,
see
this
him.
is the Harry Potter equivalent
Fuck with
over
it.
here, bro.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you got Damien, and then you got his two lackeys. Here we go.
Draco Malfoy and his
Yeah,
Yeah,
Malfoy.
it's Malfoy and his two lackeys.
And
This is like an overrepresentation of, how parents, whenever they have to let go of their kids
Mhm.
first day at school and they're sitting at home worried sick. This is Lloyd right here, dude. He's like
break into the school and spy on your child.
he's just chilling out on the roof there.
right here where she gets
Yeah.
anchored by Becky.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now all the kids are thinking bad things about her. Right? School is
Yes.
scary.
Yes. mhm.
And then there's Becky who calls them
Yeah.
all out.
I actually really, this scene actually really endeared Becky to me
Oh yeah, same.
because it's to get that kind of wisdom from somebody her young, right? She goes on to
It
say
requires an adult writing the script.
she's like, people are so petty.
Mhm.
They judge you off rip based on what
Face value.
appearances, face value, what other people say. They don't really even get to give you the opportunity to explain yourself
Mhm.
or take the chance to get to know you instead of just going off baseless rumors. So she's like, nah, fuck these people, bro. Like, don't worry about it. Right?
Yeah, they ain't shit.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure a lot of the people in our audience can kind of relate to that.
Oh yeah, it's a very
Right?
relatable.
Because I mean, we talked about this when we introduced Kenny, right? He kind of gave us a little bit of his backstory where, when he was in school, a lot of people assumed certain things about you without really
Mhm.
even getting to know you, either whether you were mean or maybe you were just a bully. Well, I was kind of a bully when I was a kid, but
Everybody goes to that
nemesis.
stage,
Yeah, yeah.
You gotta learn, the rights from the wrong.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but I just thought I really liked this scene because one, because Becky kind of gave us a little bit of wisdom there, but also I like the fact that Anya is able to develop these relationships outside of the familial too.
Yeah.
So she's developing the friendships that it seems like all of the things that she was lacking when she was alone in the orphanage, when she escaped from the whatever facility that she was being kept from. Now those
She
pieces,
is. Let's not forget, she is a psychic girl.
Mhm.
She does have powers.
she does
yeah,
have
and all of those pieces are kind of falling into
abilities.
place for her. She knows the things that people are thinking about her, but she's confident enough in Becky as a friend, and she's like, you know what? It's a shitty situation. I think I'll be okay though, because I've at least I've got one person on my side. That's all
Yep.
you need.
You got a friend in
right?
me.
You've okay.
You got a
Her name's
friend in me.
Becky.
Okay, Woody. Yeah,
I fucking thought that said meth class. I was like, oh, this is a Breaking Bad crossover.
Breaking Bad episode. I love to see it because like Anya passes
Doses
the
off.
fuck out. I'm like,
Oh,
I feel you,
man.
girl, because
Just like me.
yeah, I've never been,
I've sucked
I've
in
never had
school.
a propensity for math, and my
I had the
gosh.
propensity for math. I didn't have the propensity for school.
Mm.
I was a nerdy nerd boy, and I was usually well ahead of my classes. So I was like,
Actually-
oh, I learned this 4 years ago. I'm just going to zone out now.
You know what?
Man.
I actually do enjoy math, but only when I got older and I was like, oh, this shit's really useful.
I did the opposite where I was like, this is great. And then everybody's like, you're a nerd, fuck off. And I was like, I don't care anymore.
I only like
and then
history.
I started drinking, so I don't know what numbers are.
Yeah.
Except for the numbers and alcohol content.
My favorite period.
The lengths Lloyd goes through for this shit is just insane.
Dude, I guarantee you right now, like the actual groundskeeper comes through the next day. He might have been sick because Lloyd like darted him or something.
Sick.
He's like, what
Right?
the
He comes
fuck?
back the next day and he's like, who fucked up my bushes, bro? Yo.
I'm sure he replaced him.
Bro.
For those of you that
Being
went
the
to rich
spy.
kid schools, did you
Bro,
have this shit? Did you have these like restaurant menus?
Dude, look
There's
at this
actually
shit,
a
man.
couple that
Dude,
have.
they're like in
I
middle
know.
school. Oh, okay. It's not surprising because I just remembered. I was like, wait, how come they have all this shit in middle school or like in kindergarten? But I remember
It's
that
an
this
all
is
through.
like it's an escalator school.
Yeah.
So like college students also go here because look at that. Coffee.
There's an escalator in this
Yeah.
school?
It's an escalator. It's
He
a,
means K through 12.
I didn't even
yeah,
see
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
Oh.
Yeah.
It's-
I thought you
He
meant
means-
an actual escalator.
No,
all of they do, bro. It's a castle, right?
I like how it says mac and cheese, but it looks like a pie. Just because the graphics are weird.
It does.
Or
look
it might be
like
because like I don't know. Isn't this based in like some kind of like European country?
No, I mean it's a bowl with stuff in it. Just the
Yeah.
way the textures and the art
like
style is, it
ramen.
looks like it does look like ramen actually.
bro.
They probably just used whatever.
You-
Yeah.
Eggplant with meat sauce.
Squid.
What kid's gonna get that?
Hold up, squid ink spaghetti,
What kid's gonna get that?
Yo.
salmon,
Some of-
French word.
Some of these fucking
Okay,
options.
hold on. Let's go through this fucking menu. We got beef
Okay.
steak, good. I fuck with that. Chicken steak.
You're not gonna fuck with that as a kid. No, you're,
No, it's an
It's K through
escalator
12, so
school.
this
So
includes
like
teenagers.
Bruh.
teenagers might like that.
even the teenagers. Nah, they're not gonna fuck
Omelet
with that.
rice. I'd fuck with the omelet rice. Hamburg
Hamburg
steak. Curry rice for sure. Roast beef. Oh my god,
It looks like
that
a
it
fucking
looks like a
omelet.
katsu bowl, huh?
Yeah, it does look like a katsu.
that
bowl.
looks really. I'm fucking hungry now. Mac and cheese.
Hold on, let me go grow up north.
Roast beef.
The eggplant with sauce is tripping me out, bro. Because it's like eggplant is a very niche like
so is
vegetable.
squid ink spaghetti is not something normal families
Yeah.
consume. So.
Oh, dude. So, little factoid here about Filipinos. We have a dish in the Philippines called dinuguan. Literally translates to blood soup.
Brutal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
know if
It's
I wanna
it's
partake.
the base is made with pig's blood.
It's pretty metal.
Oh.
So squid ink spaghetti is actually not the strangest thing I've ever seen.
Well, it's not that it's
I don't
strange,
know.
just that it's usually just high end.
I didn't even know squid ink was fucking edible.
Yeah. And then you got
That's-
you got hot dog sandwich
Muffin.
muffin, and then squid the spaghetti. Like, why does this belong in this category, bro? Dude, I like the
What the
desserts too,
hell?
bro. They got cheesecake, donut, a chiffon cake. Wow, damn, dude, fancy.
Chiffon cake.
Yeah, chiffon, like right
Yeah.
there on the
right above
oh,
pound
yeah.
cake.
Yeah.
They got
Next to the
pound
caramel
cake.
pudding.
They got scones, cookies,
Scones.
caramel pudding, ice cream. Oh man, they don't got any fucking like
Jesus.
green tea ice cream. Damn, bro. Like what is this? This is this is fake.
This is a wild ass fucking menu.
This is fake news.
Is it though? Anya wants omelet
Bro,
rice.
hold up, guys. What is this? What is that? What is that?
Anglio and olio. They took a couple of twins, they chopped
Aglio
them
and
up,
oleo.
and they put them on a plate. That's what happens to bad children.
I don't know what that is, bro.
Well,
What?
A is and.
Looks like a pot pie.
Well, the letter
Oh.
E is A. Which is
Okay.
and.
What the bro? This is wild, man. I wish my school had this. We had cardboard pizza.
Yeah, that's what we had. That was a good day.
That
was
was a good
Cardboard
day,
pizza, yep.
right? We had like this disgusting lasagna.
Comes in the.
We didn't even have lasagna.
The school
Yeah.
square shape.
school
Yeah,
square
school
shape,
square
right? With
shape.
like the nasty film on top.
Not even just a
Yeah.
regular square. It's
If
gotta
you
be
looked
school
at it, it did
square.
not look edible.
Yeah,
Give
and
it a
then for some
rhombus.
reason they thought that pairing the lasagna with broccoli was a good thing.
At least you got lasagna or broccoli.
Yeah.
I didn't even have those options.
It was wild, man. We did have. I know you don't like it, but we did have my favorite strawberry milk in the carton. So I
Yeah,
fuck
we
with
did.
that.
We would get
Yeah.
milk cartons, but only regular white milk
Bro, the
cartons.
strawberry milk always tasted like it has something else in it. I
That's
could
'cause
not
strawberry
drink
milk
that
is fucking
shit.
gross.
Yeah, strawberries.
Nah.
Like, hello, my guy.
Yo, wow. What are these juices though? Like we skipped over the juices. You have orange and apple, but between that, looks like a fucking potion.
It says Ace Rolla. What?
Like I don't even hold on. I got the internet here. I got to Google because I don't even
It's
fucking know.
ACEROLA.
It's a
I thought it
Barbados
said,
cherry.
I thought it said areola first. I was
It's
like,
from
what?
Barbados,
It's a Barbados
Are they
cherry.
selling nipple juice to
bro.
kids?
I don't see any black folk here, bro.
It's a shrub or small tree. The fruit is similar to a cherry and is red in color when ripe. It's a rich source of vitamin C.
All right, if we have any fans from Barbados, please let us know.
So it's wine.
Yeah.
Cherry wine.
All right, we got stuck on the menu, bro.
It's also known as the West Indies cherry. Then we enter Damien Vision.
Oh,
Dude,
he's blushing again.
Guys, shit's gonna hit the fan, but Damien is going
to simp.
He's going to simp for.
I thought he was gonna beat her ass for a second, man. You know, like,
you wild kid. You wild.
Now, because you know, so okay, here is my thought process when they first met. You know how when you're younger, the common stereotype is when you like a girl and you haven't hit puberty yet, your initial reaction is to bully her.
Tease,
yeah, you like put your face in the dirt and then you call her names,
right? Because
whoa, did you say put her face in the dirt?
Isn't that what little kids do at the playground? You know, like
not some girls
throw mud at her or something.
Not put her face in the dirt.
Throw your shoe at her.
I mean,
you like put
run her into a tree,
put like a bug on her shoulder, or poke her with a stick or something.
Elbow drop off the top of the slide.
You know, people's elbow off with the band.
Yeah, exactly. Clothesline her. You know what I mean?
Good old Marriott. So this dude was simping hard for somebody.
Kenny was a troublemaker.
The escalation of violence is how hard you're simping.
Yo, exactly. Damn.
No, I didn't get to play with the other kids.
Did she survive?
I didn't get to play with the other kids. My dad kept us in a group by ourselves.
Probably because he figured out what you were gonna do if you started simping.
Yeah. He was like, all right, man, I gotta teach him that, you know, there's a way to neg hit a girl, and there's a difference between like neg hits and being a playful jerk and and physically assaulting somebody.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But Damien,
dude, this guy, blushing. Look at him, bro. He's like,
and he doesn't know how to handle these feelings. Like he's processing them, clutching his chest. Heartburn. You just say the wrong thing, and then on you.
Dude, it's funny because she's like thinking, oh no, it's like malicious intent. But for Damien, he's kind of just like struggling with.
I don't think she's interpreting as malicious intent so much as like whatever it's feeling. It's just awkward.
It's just a strong feeling.
It's a strong feeling, and it's just uncomfortable. So she's feeling his discomfort for herself.
Yeah. Yes, exactly, because she is an empath. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then they start fucking ripping her to shreds mentally.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Oh my god, I didn't even notice his nose.
Yeah. That's because his hair is so
He has
bad.
a punchable nose too.
Super uggo, raccoon, gorilla.
I love how this whole situation just kind of works out.
Why are they making
Anya,
fun of her hair things?
Right? Because
those lame hair things that look like horns.
Yeah, because they're like they're bagging on her with what they're thinking, and then she just ends up, dude, like look at this.
Oh, look at her. Look at her. Oh man. He's ended right there.
Yeah.
And then he hit it, you know?
Yeah, that was the fatality. Yeah, you heard the finish him.
Yeah. Look at him. Look at this. The rose petals scattering through.
Oh man.
Then we enter Damien Vision.
Yeah. Defied.
Look how adorable Anya is, all glowing and bright. Exactly. Look at her eyes. Look at the artistic expression in her eyes that's not normally there.
Yeah, suddenly it shifts, right? It's like now it's super clear to him because now every single time he pictures her, he sees her. It's like
differently than everyone else sees her.
It's like the most beautiful version of her that he sees.
And there's like this glowing, diffused light.
But it's hilarious, right? Because he realizes it's
and then she just looks up at him.
It's crazy because at this point, right, he never says it explicitly, but he realizes that he likes her, and then he refuses. Even at that age, he refuses his pride refuses him to admit it.
He's just like rejected.
Oh my gosh! Get wrecked, Lloyd.
Now she calls him back. And then Becky's just out there like, what the fuck?
And Lloyd left Becky hanging. He's like, yo, I was just trying to eat my spaghetti, bro.
Poor kid.
Yo.
She was in the way, though. She wouldn't let Anya apologize.
Yorusan is pulling him back because Lloyd is, I don't think he realizes it, but what he's doing, being like putting all that pressure on Anya, he's doing exactly what he doesn't want to do. Which is he's like compromising the mission himself.
Yeah.
Right?
Because he's making it so she doesn't enjoy, then she's not going to pursue.
There you go.
You keep putting that pressure on her. She's not
got it.
Yep.
You got it.
I see exactly.
And that's exactly what happened, right? What she do? She runs into her room.
Runs away, yeah. Gives up.
mellow vanilla with spicy hints, zesty orange, vanilla honey, and spiced oak. Please sponsor me.
Dude, such a
and
great,
I like that Lloyd listens. He doesn't
Yeah.
just, he's not stubborn about it. He's just like, oh, I'm going to take in other people's input.
Yeah.
Develop from there.
Yeah. And Yoda-san makes a great point right there. I know you want her to be a scholar, but that's
she acknowledges his goal. She acknowledges his ideals and wants. She doesn't just brush it aside.
Yeah. But what does she say? She said that's something that she has to want for herself. Right. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can and girls can empathize with what Yoda-san said there. And this is something that I figured out coaching throughout the years. When it comes to fitness and nutrition, you can't force people to do anything that they don't want to do, right? When people are ready, they will come and ask you for help, right? When you're trying to make a change, it has to come from you. Nobody can force a change on you. So I think Yoda-san makes a good point right there, right? If she wants to do well in school, it has to come from her.
Yeah.
Because if you pressure her too much into it, even if she likes it, she's gonna end up hating it.
Yeah, you're gonna,
right? And I'm sure you guys can relate to that.
Yeah, it's gonna come from
you're gonna
bad
get that
place.
negative connotation, which is, I mean, this brings us back to Justice Evangelion. Or he's like, well, why wouldn't you get in the robot? I would get in the robot. And it's because he has a negative connotation to the robot because it's all, oh, I'm just a tool. Oh, my dad doesn't care about me.
Yeah.
Why would I want to do this? So even though, it's really fucking cool to pilot a mech, when you have a negative connotation to something, even though it's like, oh yeah, this is a really cool thing I like, it's been tarnished. It's been taken away from you and you no longer have a positive attachment to it.
It's a negative reinforcement.
Exactly.
Right?
Negative reinforcement.
It's behavioral reinforcement, right? It's like psychology 101.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hey, look who's a psychiatrist.
Oh, you might offend some people, Robert. Psychologists and psychiatrists are not
Which
the same
one is
thing.
he? I can't remember.
He's a psychiatrist.
Okay, he's so I was right. I was not wrong. But I was gesturing to the TV, which is Lloyd. I was pretty sure it was psychiatrist, but I'm well knowing the difference because I've seen both. And then there's your not identifying herself as part of the family.
Yeah. Right?
I'm sure other parents go through the same thing.
Dude, how great is that, right? Once again, it's a great representation of both the importance of both the male and female dynamic when it comes to familial relationships, because gave him a perspective that I don't think Lloyd would have had if she wasn't there.
Yeah, Lloyd would have continued with his own thing, or he would have, even if he pulled back, he would have just been left in his own head of, I don't get it, I don't know why.
Yeah, and he realized, right? She's still a kid. Doing well in school is probably not her priority, right? It's just enjoying herself and making friends.
She's a child. She's learning life, not just schoolwork.
Yeah, and if Yoda-san wasn't there, Lloyd would have been at a loss as to how exactly to deal with.
Because he might have backed off and waited, but then he would have just continued the same thing over again.
And dude, look, he was about to storm in there into her room.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, what are you doing? Don't leave!" Blah blah blah, and then pursued her to her room. And Yor was like,
"Yeah." And I think both of you guys and everybody else can relate to the fact that when you don't want to do something and somebody keeps bagging on you to do it, like
it makes it worse.
It's bad news bears.
Right? It's like you put your guard up, you put these walls around you, and you're like, no, fuck you, dude. I'm not gonna do it.
And then you'll start doing things out of spite. So it's just all bad news.
Precisely.
Yeah, you can see some of the experience that Yor has with raising a brother and stuff.
Yeah, dude, good point.
Oh yeah, because
that's a very good point.
Yeah.
The younger brother. So she remembers her own promise that she made as well.
Yeah.
So she also, like, even Anya, the young one, starts identifying, like, oh, I'm being stubborn about this too.
Yeah.
And I'm getting overwhelmed and just giving up instead of trying.
Yeah.
I can do this kind of thing. And then she remembers her promise, like, oh no, I said I was going to do good, so I'm going to do good. I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Even without the parental input of pursuing. Exactly.
And that was so cool because you realize, right, if you give people some space and some time to think, usually you get something good out of that, right? Instead of instead of you just continually bagging on them. And that's a great scene right there because like you pointed out, Anya realizes that, hey, I did make a promise to dad, right? He gave me this whole day of fun. And the only thing that he asked from me was like try your best at school. So she realized that and she's like, you know what? Maybe I'm not keeping my end of the deal. Right? So that wouldn't have happened if Lloyd barged into her room and started berating her about not doing well in class.
Because then she
Right?
never would have had that space to stop, clear her head, and think back and be like, okay, wait a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, you need space, right? You need,
Which is
you need
also
space
why
for
it's
people.
important for y'all to take breaks when you're doing shit. If you're on the grind, stop for a minute.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Clear your head, refresh, and you'll come back.
Do some yoga.
Do some yoga.
Do some yogurt.
That was a motorcycle.
Dude, and I think that's a good lesson to take, and it doesn't just apply to like this family dynamic, right? If you're like in a romantic relationship with somebody, even if you're just
Even platonic.
yeah, exactly.
Any
You might
relationship.
have an argument with your folks, with your
homies.
brother, your sister, your homies, right? Your homegirls. It's good to give each other. It's really good to give each other some space, some
Mhm.
breathing room,
Yeah.
because
And that can be hard sometimes. Sometimes you're like, oh no, I need to get this message across. But
yeah,
sometimes you gotta stop yourself.
yeah. You know how a lot of times when you have conflict with people, you say things in the heat of the moment
Yeah.
that you immediately regret,
Yeah.
right?
All
And
the
even if you
time.
don't immediately
All the
regret it later, you'll think back on it and your mind is gonna get stuck on it. Be like, man, I said that was so
I
fucking
didn't mean
stupid. I
that.
can't believe
Why'd
I
say
said that. Yeah.
You know?
So this is actually a really good example that they set for a lot of us. If you're having trouble with somebody, if you're arguing, you have a disagreement, take a step back,
hmm
take a few breaths, tell them like, hey, you know what? I might say something that I might not necessarily mean, so I'm just gonna take a step back and collect my thoughts, and then you take a step back, you collect your thoughts, and then we can come back maybe 10, 15 minutes later,
Mhm.
and then we can have an actual civil conversation with each other
Yeah.
that ends up being productive
Yeah.
instead of having a shouting match
People don't think of that though, man.
that
you know?
results in us hating
Yeah.
the other person, right?
I mean, it's hard to do when you're person to person because it's in the
Yeah.
moment. It's a lot easier online because you can just stop messaging people.
Yeah.
But when you're face to face, it can be hard to pull back. Be like, I need to walk away.
Yeah.
Let's hold off. But
It's
that's
about
where
speaking.
communication comes in. Is
Yeah.
hey, here's what I interpret. This is why I interpret that way. In the future, you could keep that in mind. Be like, oh, if I do this, she'll interpret it this way. Or
Yeah, at least you told her that, so now she understands that.
Yeah.
You know, when you
Yeah.
do that,
yeah.
you're just
Because
trying to
if you stay
make
silent
space
and just let
stuff.
the other person guess what? It ain't gonna go fucking great.
Yeah.
Like,
This is a
Because I've done that many a time when I get into arguments, and I don't like tell them that like I'm just trying to make some space so we can both cool off.
yeah.
I
I
just
just
take
ghost.
my space, and then it gets worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
this is now an
precisely.
advice giving podcast. Just wait
Yeah.
till we get this to the slice of life.
Yeah. No, dude, that's
anime.
like that's what I think this makes this discussion great, right? It's because
It comes from anime.
You could draw a lot of wisdom
Yeah.
from the stuff that you see in anime,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right?
That's
Once
exactly
again,
why I want to do
it's
like,
not
a lot
just
of slice of life
cartoons.
stuff. Yeah.
Right? So
Definitely
All right.
gotta do what I gotta do sometime.
mhm.
Fucking
Oh, for sure.
good
I'm gonna
shit.
close.
Bugs. Bro, the bugs we got out here in the desert will fuck you up.
Bruh, tell me about it.
I'd rather not.
I fought a level 39 grasshopper the other day.
Bro, that ain't shit. You get to the fucking level 80, level 90 shit, you get like the fucking giant desert centipedes that are like this
Bruh.
long, send you to the hospital. The tarantula hawk wasp, like just the name alone is like,
What the hell is that?
that's a raid boss, bro.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, it's like the second most painful sting in the insect kingdom.
God.
Yeah, right behind the bullet ants.
Hawk.
Tarantula hawk wasp.
God.
They hunt tarantulas, kill the tarantula, and inject their babies into it, so their babies hatch, devour the tarantula, and then
like a fucking chimera.
it's fucking brutal.
Jesus.
And then you got the giant desert centipedes, which are like 13 inches long, and they usually bite more than once in like one go, and they'll like latch onto you and pinch you, and their venom will hospitalize you, and if you don't get to the hospital, you could die from it. So welcome to Arizona. We have some fucked up shit out here.
It's okay, man. As long as we don't
We have tarantulas too, but they just do it.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about tarantulas. They're babies. They get killed by wasps out here.
as long as you
Yeah.
don't I've always been one of the other things that adds to my paranoia about going in like the ocean is because of like the box jellyfish.
Oh,
Enough.
dude, jellyfish are
Yeah.
fucking
They're
whack,
like
dog.
they're like
You
microscopic.
bump into it by accident, you die.
Yeah, they're so tiny,
Mm.
but their tentacles are so long and they're
Mhm.
translucent in water,
Yeah.
so you can't see them. But their venom is so deadly.
Yeah, and it's not just that, but even if the venom isn't that deadly, the fact that you're in the water, you go into shock or something in the water, you fucking drown.
Mm.
It's not like you can lay on the ground and wait for help. You just drown and die.
Yeah,
So you either die from the venom or you die from drowning.
yeah,
So,
yeah. From the venom,
Yeah,
from the
man.
shock, because it's like I think you go into like cardiac arrest.
Yeah, a lot of times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so it's like
Yeah,
you
the
die from
water.
the not
Stay
fun.
inside, kids. Stay inside.
Nah, you go outside. Just like pay attention to the signs when they say, "Hey, man, there's like jellyfish here. That'll fuck you up."
Yeah, don't fuck with jellyfish because they won't even know. They don't even care. They're just existing, and you died from their existence. I'm gonna have to come up with some jellyfish anime enemies to throw at you at some point. You won't even know they're there. Just get zapped, and all of a sudden, like, hey, roll a Constitution saving throw, and
Jellyfish in another world.
oh shit, you actually did pretty good. 17 plus your mod.
Draggy would die.
Dragon, he has no modifiers and like
he
anything.
has no bonuses to anything.
All right, so we have in our group a Dragonborn Paladin, and I think his highest bonus is like +1.
Yeah, he dumped all of his stats and strength and his constitution.
Even strength isn't even that good. Like all of his stats, he has like 2 decent stats that are like +2, and everything else is +0.
I think he just rolled really bad for his
He
stats.
rolled very average. Because like he doesn't even have a minus. Like you have a minus.
And then I'm -2 to strength.
-2. Yeah, we've experienced that with the mimic. That was fun. That's what's fun about D&D and other stuff. Like embrace the negative aspects. It makes things more fun.
Yeah.
Don't cheat and be like, oh, my character's good at everything.
Yeah.
It takes the fun out of it, man. Let your shit fail. It's fun. I didn't fail there. I rolled a 17 plus the mod, but I can't do that during the actual session.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But, this actually following up the scene right here would when you get a little bit of a flashback of both Yoru-san and Yuri-san growing up. You know how we kind of talked about if you want the positive and the negative reinforcement.
Yeah.
And in this case, Yoru-san actually refers back to her childhood, how she used positive reinforcement to kind of get Yuri to do well in school.
Yeah.
And Lloyd points it out here. Part of Yuri's motivation growing up was because every single time that he did well in school or he taught Yoru-san something new about what he learned, she would always praise him.
Yes.
Yeah.
She would be proud. She would show pride. Like, oh, you're great. You're awesome.
Yeah. And for Yuri, getting that praise from his older sister,
who he admired and adored.
It was enough for him to push harder.
Yeah. Who he had, like you said, he admired and he looked up to. It made him push himself to do even better in school so that every single time he would kind of show off to Yoru-san about how much he learned, she'd give him that praise, right? And that positive reinforcement, right? So once again, it's a good representation of you need both dynamics in a family. You need the father and the mother there. Like, and I'm not bagging on single parent households, right? Whether you're a single mom or you're a single dad.
This is just like a statistical observation.
Exactly.
Like if you do sociological studies, there's a trend that you tend to see.
Yeah.
And pissing off the mathematicians and the parents, huh?
Piss off everybody. By the end of this season of podcasting, we'll piss off most people.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It's really hard to give parents advice because
how dare you tell me what to do about my child?
Yeah, it's really difficult to give parents advice. That's why it's like unless they come up to you. People don't really like getting unsolicited advice in the first place. In general, but it's even worse with parents, bro. It's like if you tell them something about their kid, it's like, yo, get the fuck out of here. Don't
you got a kid running through a store unsupervised, knocking shit off the shelves. Hey, could somebody come find their kid? Don't tell me how to parent my child. Be like, bro, he just like trashed $1,000 in merchandise.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, speaking from my own personal experience, like growing up, my dad couldn't be physically present in like the most important times of mine and my sister's childhoods, right?
Relatable for a lot of us, I'm
sure. The developmental years, because he was in the Philippines, right? We had to wait for his visa to get cleared before he could go here. So physically, he couldn't be here even though he wanted to. So he missed out on a lot of that. So even though my mom did her best to raise us, it's like me and my sisters did not have a very positive male role model in our lives growing up from like middle school to high school. And so the stuff that a dad was supposed to be there to kind of show you, like for me, I'm going to speak for myself personally. Of
course.
Like how to, like a young man navigating your way around puberty and
tough.
Women growing up.
It's tough without that role model.
Yeah.
I
didn't have
y'all
that
went through
up.
puberty?
I get you. Well, it's like, who do you talk to? You can't talk to your mom about that stuff.
Exactly.
Because your mom,
sadly,
I mean, if you could, we're all from the generation that internet was like barely a thing.
Yeah.
So it's not like we could even Google it for ourselves. And
well,
none of us are going to go to a fucking library and look up books on how to cope with puberty. We're just going to keep it to ourselves, figure it the fuck out on our own. Probably not very well.
Yeah. Dude, I could have used my dad's help.
Absolutely.
Yo. And like my dad was he was a G growing up, bro. Like my mom, like the stories that my mother told me about my dad growing up, dude. He was a playboy in high school.
Damn.
I could have used your help, pops.
I don't know. You turned out all right in the end.
I mean, I did, dude, but the growing pains, bro. Like, I mean, I don't regret it because the stuff that I like, you know, because when you do shit on your own, there's that sense of accomplishment, dude. And
like, I don't need no one else. I got me.
Like the shit that I had to go through to learn about women and dating growing up, dude.
You learn about women?
Huh?
How do you learn about women? I still haven't gotten to that part.
Talk to them.
Yeah.
You could talk to women. I'm a weeb, damn it.
Yeah. Dude, that's the thing, man. It's like with girls, the best way to learn about women, you have to get in there, dude. Like you have
to get in there.
You got
to get in there. You got to take some shots. You go a couple rounds, and then you're good to go. You know?
Too old for shots now. I sip my drinks.
Yeah, I was speaking like the boxing terms. You know, take some shots. You take some jabs. They throw a couple hooks at you. You know,
roundhouse finisher, hook 'em dead, hook 'em dead.
Well, that's MMA.
I mean, dead hookers. That's the end. It's party's not fun unless there's a dead hooker, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but the boxing analogy is actually an analogy that I really like when it comes to dealing with girls growing up as a guy, because you realize that when you get into the dating marketplace, you're like, women have they have all the moves, bro. Like they're gonna throw rights, they're gonna throw lefts, they're gonna jabs, they're gonna throw rabbit punches at you.
Ultra Instinct Goku,
and
bro.
you're gonna get fucked up a lot more times than you're gonna win, dude. And you figure it out that it's a numbers game. Like you're gonna have to get rejected over and over and over again, and you're gonna have to become desensitized to rejection, because unfortunately the reality is most women find most men both physically and economically unattractive, bro.
Which is fair because most men are physically and financially unattractive.
Yeah, economically unattractive.
Yeah.
So it's like you growing up, you have to realize that if here's the thing, and this shit really blew my mind when I found out. Like even the guys who are like professional pickup artists, if they close 10% of their leads, right? So like
when you look at it from
1 out of every 10, if they close 10, like 1 out of every 10 of their leads, they're considered god tier.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that, dude? 1 out of every 10. 10 out of every 100.
Okay, now let's translate that. So you mentioned the numbers game. Let's translate that to my numbers. Because as you recall, as we play D&D, for those of you who don't play D&D, a dragon can generally regenerate its breath weapon 1 out of 3 rolls on a D6. It's 5 or 6.
This episode, bro.
Yeah. So it took me 15 rolls to regenerate this dragon's breath, and that's not like an unlikely event. That's a normal event.
We were doing a one shot, and this dragon was not regenerating his fire breath.
Yeah. It took 15 turns to regenerate. It's a 1 in 3 chance. Took me 15 tries.
I'm gonna tell you guys though, this dragon was a fucking bitch. I was taking shots at her from afar, and this fucking dragon grabbed me and seismic tossed me. Basically, dropped me from a great height.
Well, the worst part was we killed the sorcerer, and this fucker was still alive.
Yeah,
or the dragon was still there.
Yeah.
So it was like
and they had no.
It wasn't even like a summon or nothing. He just like.
And to be fair to the fucking dragon, it was my fault. I should have taken Featherfall. Somebody in the party always needs Featherfall, and nobody took Featherfall.
Nope. Well, you were out of spell slots anyway.
Yeah. Oh, that too. Yeah.
So
right. So we almost wrecked.
Fucked us up.
But unfortunately, one of our party members got warped.
Dragons, man.
And it was out for 20 turns.
10 turns.
And this fucking dragon, bro, took the cop out, man.
It would have been a lot easier if the thing would just fucking recharge like normal, because then that time it should have hit you 5 times with its breath weapon.
Yeah. Well, fuck him, right?
No, it's fuck me. I'm the dragon. But yeah, so numbers games aren't balanced or even. Think of Vegas.
Yes, exactly. Dealer always wins. House always wins. House always wins.
Unless you're the DM.
Unless you rob the house.
Yeah, unless you rob the house. It might be worth it to praise for the small. That's the line too. That goes back to what you said. Praise for the smallest thing. So it's not like you have to wait for them to make a significant accomplishment.
Yeah.
Like just a little thing is like, oh, hey, great job. You got an A on this. Sure, to you, it's like an insignificant pop quiz. Oh, 10-point quiz, whatever.
Yeah.
But that little bit of praise is enough that when it comes to the 100-point quiz, they're going to be like, oh, I want to do great. So I get praise again. So the little things add up to the big things.
I actually really think that's an important point. Because you know how I've heard people bag on others for praising like small wins. Like, why are you celebrating that shit? It's just like, It's so insignificant. But then I realized, well, you don't really have to scratch very far past the surface when it comes to people to realize that people are dealing with shit every single day.
Oh yeah.
So even a little bit of like positive reinforcement from
amongst all the other
somebody,
shit they're taking.
Saunders, man. Saunders.
One
Yeah.
flower blooming along a field of shit is going to give them some kind of hope.
Yeah, you know how like there's a cliche. I don't like, know exactly how the saying goes, but give somebody a small compliment or say hi, say hello, ask them how their day is going, right? Give
That'll
them some
stand
kind of
out.
like positive interaction, and then the cliche is you make somebody's day.
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, actually, you know what? That can go a long way.
Especially for dudes that never fucking get compliments.
You're
That
a
might
lot
last
nicer
not just a
than me.
day, but that might last like a fucking week. Like,
Yeah.
you might get like compliment on Monday and Friday. Like, man, you know what?
Yeah.
Somebody said that thing to me. That
Like all the shit.
in the middle of the day, out of nowhere, it's a little smile creeps across their face.
Yeah. And that small positive interaction can set them up for a good rest of the day.
Yeah, because then it sets their change in attitude of, oh, I don't want to get through this day. I don't give a shit. To, you know what? I'm just going to push through. I'm going to make it. We're going to look forward to the next day.
Yeah,
It's
so
that
actually,
little difference. Yeah.
I actually like that Yorosan said that because, obviously you don't want to be too much of a compliment.
Right,
You
because
don't
then it
wanna
wears
spoil
down to
people with
nothing.
it,
Yeah.
right? Like you want it to mean something.
Yeah, you don't want to devalue it.
Yeah, but I think she's saying that more as a like, Lloyd, you gotta step off the gas pedal, bro.
Yeah.
Step off the gas pedal a little bit, my guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's like, you're like, attack. Get on this.
He's the
Without
attack
pausing, be like, okay, you've accomplished this now.
I'm realizing so many things about my childhood. Fuck, man.
Okay, if y'all are realizing shit about your childhood right now, I
Oh
do
my God,
advise
bro.
therapy. It's great for
Like
everyone,
fucking
even if
Yugi
you have
over
good
here
mental health.
making a direct attack on your life points, bro.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'm not her real father. The sad look in that coffee reflection. Yes, that goes back to the episode.
So 5?
Was it? I think so. Episode beginning of episode 5 or end up of episode 4.
Yeah.
When they were in the school getting evaluated, to get her into the school, and they were interviewing Anya, and like, oh, what do you think your parents? And she's like, just immediately locks down, just like, perfect 100 points. I love them.
Yeah.
And now Yor brings that up again. Be like, remember, she told us we're a perfect 100.
Exactly.
And now you have Lloyd just going, and then there's like, you're a wonderful father. And Lloyd's just like, oh shit, maybe it's okay.
Yeah. It's funny too because he realizes at that moment that maybe if I want this mission to succeed, instead of approaching it as a spy, approach it as a dad,
As a father, yeah.
And Yoda-san actually reinforces that that thought, right? Where it's, hey, Anya thinks the world of us, gives us 100 points, right? So a perfect score.
You're doing great.
Right? So maybe if you want this mission to succeed, right, me kind of putting myself in Lloyd's shoes, maybe if you want this mission to succeed, maybe you should start acting more like her father and stop acting more like a spy, trying to delegate your
Objectives.
your objectives, right? Or just trying to delegate your subordinates, right?
He should try and be her father rather than play the father.
Yes.
That's a good way to put it.
Excellent. Yeah. You have to be the father rather than
don't
just play the
pretend.
role. Yeah.
Do it.
Because I think he's gonna realize this, right? Because the further we get into the show, right? And we've talked about this a few times where they're really good at being a family when they're not consciously
thinking about
it.
right?
Yeah.
So that's when they're succeeding the most, right?
The organic stuff.
Oh, and then there's yours still not acknowledging herself.
Yeah.
But then Lloyd turns the reinforcement back to her.
Yeah.
Right now, you're the mother of the Forgers.
Yep. Yeah. I love that, man.
I'm
It's a
counting
wholesome
on you.
moment.
I'm
Wholesome
counting on
moment
you
right
to
here.
provide what I am lacking.
Yeah. Dude,
And-
right?
Oh,
right
I'm
there,
someone's
what we
wife.
always talk about, right? They complement each other.
Yeah.
Right? Like he says to you're providing what I'm lacking, right? You're providing the nurturing side that I obviously
Lack.
do
not have.
Yeah, I don't have it, right?
I don't comprehend it. And then now he's calm himself. Like, you know what? Don't panic, Twilight.
Yeah. This scene right here was so special, man. Furuhashi-san and Endo-san have a talent for knowing how to end episodes.
Yeah. Peeks through the door.
I love this scene right here. He
And there
walks
she is
in,
trying her hardest.
right? Walks in. He's trying to make amends. And he sees Anya. She didn't go in there to throw a tantrum. But
She cleared her head
Yeah.
and then was like, I care about my father. I want to help him.
She clearly wants to do her best.
Mama, you can't kill Papa. What the fuck is she dreaming about? Is it dreaming or is it foreshadowing?
Uh-oh. Spaghetti-O.
Yor versus Lloyd.
We kind of got a preview of that.
A little bit. Doesn't look good for Lloyd.
Yeah, but like, how cool is that, right? It's like,
I wonder what it'd feel like to have a real family. Bro, you're feeling it.
That's it right there.
You're already feeling it.
Yeah. That's it right there.
I love how that's the last line of the episode before it ends.
I always forget that they're in an apartment. So like other people can hear everything they're fucking saying.
Yeah. But how great is it to end it on that note? The start of that scene, it seemed like all parties had a very clear misunderstanding.
Yeah.
But then at the end, we see that, despite the fact that Anya's having a hard time in school, she wants to keep the promise that she made to her dad. And to end it on that note, I think is really special, because as a parent, because you're trying to figure things out as you go, you're always in that situation where you're always going to be saying things that you regret later on. You're always going to be in that position, right? And you're going to be in that position, I think, as a parent. And if you're a parent, you probably relate to this. You're probably going to be in that position forever, right? Right. So for Lloyd to be able to have a moment like that with Anya, seeing that she is purposefully putting effort into wanting to do well at school, it's only going to improve their relationship, and it's only going to bring them closer together, and it's going to improve the chances of the mission becoming successful.
Yeah.
Right? Because like we were kind of saying earlier, the moments when they're most successful as a family is when they don't have to actually think about actively being a family. It's just they're just falling into those natural roles.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what happened here. When Yor stepped in, she didn't step in. There was no forethought of, oh, I need my family to stay together so I can keep up appearances. She was just like, I'm just going to state what I'm feeling right now.
Yeah.
And be open about this. And that brought that back, which, as you were mentioning about parenting, I think that translates well to some of our viewers, I'm sure, are firstborns who have gone through some shit. And then they realize, like, oh, the youngest child's always treated so well. And I'm like, that's because the parents learned through you what not to do to them.
Yeah.
And it's hard to look back on that when you're a young kid, 'cause you're a fucking jackass that doesn't know any better either.
Yeah.
But they don't, obviously it's just on you here, but they're still learning on the go.
Yeah.
But they're implementing that really well on the go. And part of it's because Anya's psychic and she can kind of like push them in the right direction sometimes, where she's like, oh, Papa's thinking this. Hey, Mama, you should do this. And yeah. So, I mean, if you're psychic, cheat, go for it.
You know, it's funny. It's funny that you say that, because growing up, it was actually the complete opposite.
Interesting.
My parents were, it's probably because I was a firstborn and I was a son. I was the eldest.
It's also a different, because you were born in the Philippines, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so it's also probably a different culture in there as well.
Yeah. And, I had two younger sisters, and so it was the complete opposite.
Yeah, there's going to be like certain expectations that have coming out of, being the boy of the family and also being the eldest. So
Yeah.
But
there's always going to have those.
But even though the rules were kind of a little bit loose for me growing up, the expectations
were high.
Were almost
always
higher.
There's the ceiling. The expectations are somewhere past that.
Yeah, the expectations as the firstborn son in the family were always higher.
Yeah.
Right? And I think to a certain degree, that's why the rules were a little bit less loose. Were
a little bit looser.
Were a bit
more
looser.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like my parents were, in their own way, always encouraging me, like, all right, man, because the expectations are higher, we want to be able to give you the opportunities to navigate as many situations as possible for you to kind of find your way in your niche in the world. Yeah. And unfortunately, growing up, it wasn't like that for my sisters, which is kind of why they rebelled a little bit more.
Yeah.
But it's like I could understand it too.
Yeah. And I mean, at this point, people our age, which we have a pretty wide age. From what I've seen in the analytics of our podcast, it's mostly in the 20s and 30s that's watching us. So some of us have kids. So take this shit to heart.
Yeah.
And think about it. See if it applies to you and be like, you know what? Yeah, stepping back, looking at it, I have seen this in my parenting. Or, hey, yeah, as a child, I've encompassed that. Maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah.
There's just a lot you can learn from anime. Anime is not just some fucking.
You don't have any
cartoon
sisters,
bullshit.
right, Kenny? You just have brothers.
All brothers.
All brothers?
I have
Yeah.
one blood sister and
Six boys.
Yeah.
two.
Did you notice anything in the way that your parents treated you differently, raising you as a boy versus your sisters?
My sister was perfection.
Mm.
Could do no wrong.
Really?
Oh no, everything.
I've got friends like that too. Yeah. That's really interesting to see. Well, it depends on the parent too.
It does depend on the parent.
I'm guessing that your mother had that sort of parenting towards you.
Yeah, because my parents got divorced when I was 11, 12-ish. So my sister was only like 6 at the time, or 5 or 6 at the time. So, and then it was mostly a mother-daughter. And then as I was aging, it was like a latchkey kid situation where, because I was with her, she would be working. So then she would come home and focus on my sister being the youngest one also. So it was like kind of a double thing, the only daughter plus the youngest one.
Yeah.
So
it's very interesting
like
social
the like
dynamics and
attention and
How
stuff
did,
like
how,
She got
that.
the
how did you
attention,
how did you
length,
react to that, bro?
Not well.
Yeah,
I was a Kyle as a kid. I punched a hole in the wall once.
dude, same.
I was a
punched a
Kyle.
lot. I was
got in
really
trouble for it,
violent.
and I was like, well, I didn't want to hit her, so I hit the wall because I had to hit something.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? Growing up, whenever me and my sisters and my cousins get together, they would always say that, yeah, you're a bully when you were a kid.
We're getting personal on this
Yeah.
episode.
I always
Man.
thought they were full of shit.
It's
But
not
then-
until you have that outside perspective and you
Yeah.
look back.
Yeah,
Mm.
but then you look back and you're like, yo, I was a really violent kid. So I might not remember it because I was the one doing the bullying, but on the balance of probabilities, it's probably not too far fetched to believe that I might have been a bully to my cousins, to my sisters as
Yep.
a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I was
It's
on
not like you
vacation.
go back in time and change it. You just have to
Yeah.
grow from it as you
Yeah.
become an adult.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was thinking, like, if you were the oppressor, you're probably not going to be thinking about all the times you oppress people. So when I was
that's
bullying
true.
my cousins and my sisters, I probably don't remember doing the bullying because I did it all the time.
Yes,
I thought
I
it was just
remember
par for the
bullying because
course.
I was the one being bullied at school because I was
Yeah.
a poor kid in like an upper middle class area. Upper middle class for that area at least because that was a poor area to begin with. But so yeah, it was not fun on
Yeah.
either end. So home and school was bad.
Yeah, I grew up around boys. We were all bullies.
Yeah.
I feel like in a different circumstance, maybe at a different school or something, I would have been a bully. But because I was like bullied in school and I didn't have the opportunity to be the bully, I think if I had the opportunity to be the bully, I probably would have been the bully.
You know what's funny? In school, I do remember being a bully, but it was more of a reaction to survive because growing up in Jersey,
like prison.
I mean, school's a prison to a lot of kids.
some yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it feels like that.
yeah,
Sometimes it fucking
was
feels
so
like that.
rough that if you didn't kind of put off this persona as being somebody tough, people,
Yeah.
if you were fragile and you were shy and you really kept to
That
yourself,
was me.
you know how bullies have a tendency to kind of like
Easy
zone
targets,
in on
Yeah, they
the
pick on the weak
people.
ones and stuff like that. Yeah.
So it was more of a defensive mechanism, but I definitely do remember like actively bullying other kids so that I wouldn't be the target, right?
Mm.
Because it was
Yeah.
like a misdirection.
I
Yeah.
feel that.
You took the attention away from you
Mm.
and you put it towards the other kids who were the ones who kind of didn't get the game, right? Like if I just be quiet, you're going to be a target for the really mean
That's why I
people.
kind of hate when parents give that shitty advice of, oh, just ignore them and nothing will happen. Bitch, just because you ignore it. Some people will get bored, but some people are like, yo, look how easy this kid is to fuck with.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
So I learned-
Punch a
are
bitch
mean,
in the
man.
face.
Kids
Don't
are
stop.
mean.
Yeah, dude, I learned that a lot growing up. Where it's like, yo, you've gotta if unless you put up some kind of fight, you're gonna eat it.
Mm.
oh, I love when we get personal on here. It's good touch
Yeah.
to the fan base,
I think
right?
it's cool, right?
Because they're, I mean,
It
obviously
happens.
you listening and watching us are people
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. No, I do like that. There's parts of the show where
Mhm.
we'll talk about the anime, where we'll kind of draw parallels in real life.
I mean,
Yeah, it's good
Endo-san
to-
obviously wanted that in the
Yeah.
first place.
Yeah.
I've seen memes about it too, about parents in Japan and everything. But it's obviously that he had an intent behind the series beyond just entertainment. It was like, hey, I want to pass on this message of families and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
parenting and children and stuff.
Because I
It's just
remember
cool
you
life.
bringing up the one. I think it was maybe a TikTok or an Instagram story where the guy was like,
I think it was an Instagram
yeah,
post.
Endo-san's goal is to promote more families.
Yeah, more families in
and,
Japan.
and for families to have more children
Yeah.
in Japan because their population is like
I mean, it's kind of like a global trend of population decline.
Yeah.
Less
Is
children
their
right now.
population declining in Japan?
Mhm.
Really?
I mean,
Yeah.
even in US, the population, like parents, has
Yeah.
like decreased.
that's what the population estimates.
Well, yeah,
have
I know
as capping
parenting.
off.
Yeah.
well, I mean,
As
like
far as,
children
like-
birthing.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, there are population estimates that have us capping off at like maybe like 10 billion or so.
I mean, it's probably good because Japan is roughly the size of California, but with a third of the U.S.'s population.
Yeah.
So imagine taking 1/3 of the U.S. and just packing it into California. That's what Japan's at.
That's Japan. Yeah.
We're fucking skyrocketing
And most
with
of
old
that,
people, though.
and most of that, because a lot of Japan is rural, is centralized in cities. So they're just packed, like
Packed
cities
up
like
in
Tokyo
there,
and
like
stuff.
New York.
There's like the countryside is very sparsely populated.
Yeah, so it's about 20% of Japan is packed with like
major
the
metro
population.
areas. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
So think about taking a third of the U.S. and packing it into like L.A. and San Francisco, and that's it.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, that's a lot of people and not a lot of area.
You got to get a New York apartment and shit.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
I think being bullied is good though.
And it can, in measures. I don't think it's bullied itself that's good. I just think facing adversity is good.
Yeah.
So, in the abstract general sense, facing adversity is good. Bullies are bad. Don't be a bully.
Yeah.
I know what you mean, and I understand the spirit of it.
Spectrum analysis is that it's about adversity, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's
like
a format of adversity.
For me, growing up thinking how I was bullied, I was like, you know what?
You're thankful for it.
Because I adapted a lot. So, like Robert said, right? I'm not out here encouraging you to be bullied because I'm saying that if you bully somebody, the adversity would be good for them. Don't do that. But if you yourself are bullied, I'm like, I actually think that's a good thing for you because
it depends on what else is in your circle. Because if you don't learn from being bullied, then it's not going to be good for you.
It's a lot different these days, guys. Like
these days,
it's so different. Yeah. Like kids have access to so much when it comes to the internet and stuff. So it's I agree with you in a sense, but on certain things, like as far as like the world goes, the world's changed so much to where like you just got to be careful.
Yeah, but here's the thing too, right? Despite the change, the school environment. The way that I picture it is it's a microcosm, right?
Yes, absolutely.
It's a proxy for what you're going to face out there in the real world.
Absolutely. Right? I agree. Yeah, I agree with that.
So it's like people say bullying is bad. Okay, good argument.
Bad things are bad. Okay, thanks. The floor is made of floor.
Why?
Why is bullying bad? Yeah.
That bullying, it doesn't end in high school.
No.
The bullying like goes on to perpetuity, right? Yeah. You get into a career. Guess what? You're going to be bullied there too.
Everybody's
in a different way.
Yeah, I mean, think about all the people right now.
It's just a different way.
And you think people don't say mean things when you're older?
Mm-hmm. Precisely.
Yeah. You got all these people working jobs like, oh, my manager said this, or they go into whatever social party and they're like, oh, this person said this. And it all extrapolates to a different level.
Yeah. Exactly.
Welcome to the real world.
Yeah. So that's why that's why I interpret it.
You're exposed early on.
Exactly.
You can prepare for it later.
Because you're going to be exposed to the same thing. It just comes at you in a different form.
That's why a lot of people who like shelter children aren't prepared for the real world. Then they go out and they leave their parents and they face adversity for the first time. They haven't been exposed to it before. They can't prepare for it. They can't expect it. And they're like, they break down.
Yeah.
I actually had a friend like that once who she had like the white picket fence life.
Mm-hmm.
And so when she finally went out on her own at like 23 years old or whatever, like within a month, she severe mental breakdown and like almost institution because she had never experienced any of that before because she'd always been protected and sheltered.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
yeah, dude.
So you don't want to experience those things. You don't want to see your kids experience these things, but humans have to learn at some point because it's going to happen. That's just reality. It's unfortunate. Exactly. Bad shit is there.
Exactly.
So if you don't acknowledge it and you ignore it, it's just going to hit you harder.
Yeah.
Thinking about it, my friend, he has a kid and he's like, his kid's very young. I don't think he started school yet, but he's been like paying for like social classes for his kid to like, be around other kids and be social and stuff like that. I think that's a really, really good idea.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
To start them off young like that, that's a really good idea.
Me and Robert talk about this quite a few times before where the most important part of being a parent is allowing your kid to be socialized well. Because
though you should it's still administered. You can still pay attention to where they're socializing, how they socialize. And so you can balance like what are they being exposed to, reel it back in, and then like you can obviously know like, yo, I don't want my kid hanging out with these people pull them away from those fucking people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't just because you're exposed to something doesn't mean you have to expose them to everything. Doesn't mean you have to put them in harm's way.
Yeah.
You just don't deny that it happens.
We went over that right on one of the episodes. Like, some people grow up too fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we were talking about Oregaru.
Yeah.
Hachiman too fast.
Talking about Hachiman, who
Hachiman. Yeah.
So it's perfectly fine to restrain, balance, reel in, and be like, yo, I don't want to put them in this situation. That's fine. There's a balance.
Yeah.
So,
but they have to be exposed to it.
But at some point, whether or not you want them to, they will be.
Yep.
Because reality exists.
Yeah.
People exist.
And you can imagine, right? If you're a parent and you don't socialize your kid well and you dislike them, imagine how the rest of the world is going to react.
Yeah. Especially now with the internet, everything is accelerated. So growing up too fast is almost like fucking mandatory now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you hit the internet, it's like, hey, there's a 50-year-old fucking talking to your 12-year-old kid.
Yeah. And you see like kids who are not even, like, who are like in primary school. They have cell phones.
Yeah.
They have access to the world.
Bro, I didn't get a cell phone until my fucking senior year of high school. And it was one of them fucking paper minute phones. Yeah.
The flip phone.
It's a flip phone, paper minute. And
I didn't get
nowadays it's like, oh, you're 8 years old. Here's an iPhone with unlimited data.
Dude, I remember when Sidekick was a shit.
I remember Sidekick was fucking hype.
Sidekick was a
Only
shit.
the cool rich kids had.
I always wanted the Juke. You guys remember the Juke?
Oh yeah, dude, Juke, bro. Blackberries, dude.
The Blackberry.
Like, it was
well, I didn't like the Blackberry that much because I feel like that was like
it was
businessman thing, you know.
Not only that, but it was like early touch screen and it
yes, it was.
Yes, it was like you had to like put so much pressure on it.
My dad always got the Blackberry.
Yeah.
Man, I hated that fucking thing.
I remember that. So those of you who are not 30 years old, just think of if you went back in time with your smartphone or some shit. I don't know.
There's an isekai trapped in another world with my smartphone. Jeez,
I haven't watched
Is there?
it. Yeah. It's called Trapped in Another World with my smartphone.
That's hilarious.
I actually enjoyed it.
Really?
Oh, it was good?
I enjoyed it.
Oh shit!
Yeah, Trapped in Another World with my
we did the
smartphone.
isekai. Did we do the isekai episode without him?
No, you guys did. Remember? It wasn't.
we did it without you.
Yeah,
we did. Okay, yeah, we did the isekai episode.
I'm so pissed I missed it because that's a good conversation.
Yeah, exactly. There's
So
more
many
conversations to
isekais,
have
they'll
about
never
it.
end.
So
yeah, I want to watch that because I want to hear what you guys say about that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, so now I'm curious.
I like it. It's decent, you know. Well,
was it the average isekai?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's just say it kept my attention.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, on that note.
Uh-oh.
Damn, I thought this episode is going to be more condensed, but we have a habit of just talking, which is I like it.
Which is what podcasts are about, talking.
Yeah, exactly. So as always, we would want to thank you guys for spending a little bit of your time with us. We know that you could be anywhere else, but you're choosing to watch and or listen to us here, and we know that time is your most valuable commodity, so we do appreciate it.
And if you don't know that, you should by now, because we've said it several times. Time is fucking valuable.
So we do appreciate that you spend some of that with us. Like always, you can find me on Instagram at agent_JSCHROTH. You can find Weeb the People on Instagram at Weeb the People 4322.
Do you
on Instagram.
do anything with that page? Because I know I don't.
Yeah, motherfuckers, just follow the goddamn.
Just do it. If you follow it, maybe we'll actually use
We'll start posting stuff if we get some followers.
Yeah, man.
We'll do like a ramen eating challenge or some shit. I don't know.
To my front.
Sir Kennethy on Instagram is where you can find me. To my left.
You can find me at the bottom of a bottle.
Damn.
Oh,
there he is. Oh, finish it off, Robert. Finish it off for the.
You don't just chug whiskey, Scotch whiskey.
I don't know anything about drinking etiquette, so.
This is inspired by the Maltman's Craft, okay? It's been created using Speyside, which, okay, if you're not familiar with whiskeys and scotches in particular, there's 3 primary regions, right?
You got him going.
Speyside.
Go for it.
Yeah, I'm going for it. There's Speyside, Highlands, and Islay. So those 3 regions have distinct flavor profiles. Speyside is usually the lighter, fruitier, spicier, maybe. Generally easier to consume. Highlands is kind of in between of Speyside and Islay, fucking whatever. Where it's a bit smoky. There's a bit of peat moss. What? It's the regions of Scotland, bro. Is Scotland cute? Guys, is Scotland cute?
It sounded like a girl name.
It's all right.
Scottish girl name.
She's not bad.
Isla is like drinking a bonfire. So if you like smoke, drinking liquid smoke, that's great for you. So this is a blend of Speyside. So this is a blended Scotch, Monkey Shoulder. So it's a blend of multiple Scotches from the Speyside region. So it's more fruity and spicy. It's very good. Casual drinking.
What's your brand going to be called again?
What was it again? I forgot.
Was it Drown Me in Whiskey or something like that?
Yeah, drown me.
No, it wasn't drown.
Serve Me Whiskey?
No,
Something
what
like
was
that.
Something about breathing.
I'm gonna have to rewind the podcast.
Yeah.
It was such a good name.
But there's I'll put it up here somewhere in the text box or something because I forget.
That's got to be your brand name, bro.
But Feed Me Whiskey.
Feed Me Whiskey.
Feed me whiskey. Yes.
Yeah, so this is a blended Scotch. So it's a few different Scotches blended together, but mostly from the Speyside region of Scotland. But yeah, what was I saying?
we were trying to go.
We
for
were
the
signing
outro.
off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tell them what they can find you, buddy.
If you don't know
You
by
alcoholic.
now, if you don't know by now, go back to episode 1 and start fresh. But no. Cars and Cosplay with underscores for spaces. It's my Instagram. I don't
Yes,
really
sir.
use the other social media, so I should. I guess I don't know. Whatever.
I'll get there.
Don't go on that
Yeah.
that Twitter that they got there. Don't do that.
I made a
That's-
Twitter to show
dangerous.
my NFTs, but I don't know how Twitter works, so I just stopped. I don't fucking know how Twitter works.
It's just a cesspool.
So I have a Twitter, I just don't use it at all. Yeah, we're gonna have to just create a Discord channel at some point. Communicate. Would you guys
Oh,
like that?
for
Have
sure.
a Discord
That'd be
channel and chat
Oh,
with us?
that'd be cool.
that'd be
That'd
dope.
be
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
I'm an amateur in Discord. I've only
I am
used
too.
it
That's
once. So
one
it's
thing.
like,
I've used it a few times. I used to use it for my other D&D group because we were in like several different states playing.
yeah.
Mm.
And then I had another group of like photogs and cosplayers that we would chat in sometimes. So yeah, we're gonna have to make a Discord community.
Yeah.
That'd be
Weave the
cool.
people united.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. I like
Include
that,
a bunch of
man.
you guys. You'll be able to come in and chat with us and
Mhm.
give us your thoughts on the podcast, what you might want to hear.
Yeah.
Just
And then you gotta make feed
have
me
to feed
whiskey
me
incorporated.
whiskey.
Yeah.
Tell us-
incorporate it.
And on
Tell us when
Discord.
we're wrong about
Always.
how Naruto's.
I didn't even hear what you were gonna say. I was like, if you say, "Oh, we're wrong," you're just wrong. Once you admit you're wrong, you're wrong.
Tell us how One Piece is the best
The goat.
anime ever.
God, you're so wrong. Speaking
Austin
of One
Powers.
Piece, I heard they were finally finishing
Yeah, for
the last
15th
saga.
time.
after his hiatus. Yeah, for like the 15th time.
I don't think he's gonna give it up.
Nobody does.
No. He's gonna pivot into something like Boruto.
Boruto. Ooh, please don't do that.
Yeah, it's gonna
I
go
think
from,
he knows. I don't think he'd do that.
It's gonna go from one
honestly.
piece to two piece.
That was my joke.
Oh God, come on!
Because they go to find the one piece and realize it's only half.
You really
And
just
it's
had to
been
reach
split
for the
apart.
low hanging fruit right there, did
Dude,
you?
you always gotta reach for the low hanging fruit first, man.
That's true.
It's the easiest to pick.
Yeah, that's true. Most accessible.
Because you don't need to get a
Uh-huh.
fucking ladder.
Exactly. Right.
You know how many people have poor balance that would fall off a ladder trying to pick a fruit on a higher branch?
I
and you could just,
definitely would.
I would fall so
I have no
fast.
balance whatsoever.
Oh my god!
my
And now
balance
we've
is
just
off.
spent 5 minutes trying to outro.
Fine. You guys love us. You want to hear us talk too much.
Oh, but on that
Yeah.
note, once again, thank you guys for joining us for another session, and we will see you in the next one. Only one snap today.
Only one snap.
Peace out.
2 snaps. Bastard.